Good morning to all my beloved friends. Today I want to share my feelings, my opinion regarding floods and bank erosion in Assam. Basically, Assam mostly affected by Brahmaputra river. Although we are having two major valleys, Brahmaputra Valley and Barak Valley, the Brahmaputra Valley is severely affected by floods and bank erosion. The Barak Valley, in a word, soil formation are slightly different, not slightly, mostly different from Brahmaputra Valley. The soil formation of Brahmaputra Valley is basically young floodplain deposit which we can alluvial deposit. We can classify it as alluvial floodplain. While soil formation of Barak Valley mostly shale disintegrated soil mass having good amount of cohesive force and nominal frictional angle. At the river bed only transported alluvial sand is noticed. Both banks are generally permanent rigid bank, Barak valleys. And Barak Valley, all tributaries of Barak and Barak itself has rigid boundary, well defined, mature, rigid boundary. Bank erosion is very nominal. In major meanders, there may be some bank erosion in some places, which can be effectively and efficiently tackled. While Brahmaputra Valley, it is quite different. In Brahmaputra Valley, this year, in some tributaries and Brahmaputra itself, this side, this year eroded, and nobody knows next side what happened, next year what happened, which side shall be eroded, which bank shall be eroded. If this a specific reef is eroded this year, next time that may not be eroded. In most of the places, in most of the tributaries also, especially North Bank tributaries, those are coming from steep Arunachal hills and Bhutan hills. They are creating major problems. Their flooding intensity is too high and sediment load is too high, so erosion at any moment erosion is happening. Flood and river bank erosion of Assam is a chronic problem of this state. I am a worst sufferer of flood and bank erosion since I was born and brought up to extent. I was belonging from a remote riverine village which is called Disangmukh. It is the confluence point of river Disang at Brahmaputra. Each monsoon is carrying tears for the people of Assam, 3 crores people of Assam. Out of these 3 crores, more than 80% are in rural area, in villages. And our Indus Valley civilization principally grown up at a river bank. So still people of India, more especially the people of Assam, they are living at the river bank. Because the river is lifeline of rural areas. River is the transport system. River is the sources of drinking water. River is the agricultural resources. River is the, in a word, we all people of Assam are mainly dependent on the river. Without river, we have no existence. There shall be no drinking water. There shall be no irrigation water without river. Although at the present time some irrigation structures, some irrigation infrastructure have been developed, yet these are not worth up to the mark. In many cases, people are those who are not nearer to the close to the river, those peoples are basically dependent on rain. Since without rain, without water, nothing will grow. People of Assam basically primarily dependent on agriculture. Paddy, wheat, whatever it may be, these are very, we are all dependent. Is monsoon carrying tears for the people of Assam? Loss of life, death of animals, both domestic and wild elements, damages of crops, damages of huge agricultural land, damages of houses, road, embankments, etc. are recurring and regular happenings. Even in 2006, flood also damaged fewer bridges on National Highway 37, which are well designed as per Indian Road Congress specification. I am also associated since 1968 with Public Health Department, especially in construction of road bridges. So, we require to follow each and every word of Indian Road Congress specification, and also we have to you have to cross-check as per Indian Railway Board technical specification. As such, in 2006, 3 bridges were damaged. These are not normally our bridge approaches are in such a way, constructed in such a way, if unwanted discharge is coming out, passing out, then approach may be damaged. Let us damage the approach which can be prepared immediately. But in major structure damages since my childhood, I never heard. But in 2006, I personally visited this site. Two pier wells were collapsed. Bridge, bridge superstructures were removed from the bearings and piers were damaged. Three bridges on National Highway 37. In my opinion, the total loss due to floods and landslide, floods and erosion, expected to be more than 50% of our state budget. In the name of some flood damage repairing works, in the name of some relief to the flood affected people, in the name of construction of school buildings, a lot of things are happening. So our total, more than 50% will be our total budget. Floods are directly related to bank erosion, or is directly proportional, bank erosion is directly proportional to floods. It is very difficult. However, in a word, floods are related to bank erosion, which is also creating loss of properties of thousands and thousands. Families became homeless. You see, this is the map of Brahmaputra. This is Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra is coming from China and passing through Arunachal, Assam, and then Bangladesh, entering Bangladesh. And these are the tributaries. These are all tributaries. More important thing is Assam is surrounded by this Brahmaputra valley, surrounded by all hill states. In north side, that is Arunachal Pradesh, it is foothill of Himalaya. Arunachal Pradesh is foothill of Himalaya. Up to here it is Arunachal Pradesh. Earlier Arunachal Pradesh was known as Nepal. It is centrally ruled Northeast Frontier Agency. Now it is attained statehood and now Arunachal Pradesh. Here it is Nagaland. Here it is Nagaland. Here it is Manipur. Here it is Mizoram. Here it is Tripura. Here it is Meghalaya. Here it is Bhutan. Here it is Bhutan. Here it is Sikkim. Assam is surrounded by, especially Brahmaputra Valley is surrounded by all hills. And all the tributaries are originated from the hills, either from Arunachal Pradesh or from Bhutan in North Bank, and South Bank either from Arunachal Pradesh or from Nagaland or from Manipur or from Mizoram in South Bank. This is Brahmaputra. This is Brahmaputra. It is very steep, about 5,000 meter above it is coming. It is 5,000 meter above mean sea level. It is coming and passing through China, and here it take one U-turn and then cross one very steep 90-degree steep gorge. Steep gorge is passing, then meet here Luhit, and again it is Dihing. So, this is the confluence point of Brahmaputra. This is. From here it is Brahmaputra. Up to Bay of Bengal it is Brahmaputra. These are the map of river Brahmaputra and tributaries. The river Brahmaputra, a transboundary river flowing down as Arlang Sengpu or Sengpu. In some places, some tribes of China, they said as Sengpu, and in some places it is Arlang Sengpu, and joined with Luit and Dibang, and then entered Assam. Luit and Dibang joined in Arunachal Pradesh and then entered Assam. From Assam portion, it is known as Brahmaputra. After crossing Assam, when it entered the Bangladesh, then it is known as Meghna. It is the longest river of India, 3,446 from the origin to confluence at Bay of Bengal. However, here is a difference between opinions. Some scholars prefer to say that the actual length is 2,900 kilometers and flood discharge of 1 lakh cubic is cubic meter per second. However, the record depicts the flood discharge of Brahmaputra at Pandu, nearest to Guwahati, in 1962, recorded as 73,000 cubic. If at Pandu it is 73,000 cubic, then surely at confluence point of Meghna it will be 1 lakh cubic. Because after crossing Pandu, there are a lot of major tributaries are coming from North Bank and South Bank too. But South Bank tributaries are more or less volatile than the North Bank tributaries. North Bank tributaries are originating from either Arunachal Pradesh or from Bhutan. Both are coming from high ranges and very steep gradient entered the plains of Assam at a high velocity. So, North Bank tributaries are more volatile and furious than the South Bank tributaries. The width of river is 1.2 kilometer to 25 kilometer. It varies from place to place. Somewhere it is 25 kilometer, not in lean season. These lengths are, except this 1.2 kilometer, this 25 is not in lean season. This is in a full monsoon period, full flood season, it is 25 kilometer. And this 1.2 kilometer, the lowest width at Saraighat bridge site, which is mainly due to Khadir at both bank. The North Bank, there is a rock hill. There is a rock hill, and so it is inerodable khadi. And the south bank soil formation is a hard plastic clay deposit which is not at all erodible. So both banks are well defined, rigid boundary. So nowhere the bank erosion can be taken place, and it is always 1.2 kilometer without any effects in bank. Brahmaputra travel, other sources say that the total length of Brahmaputra is 2,900, and another sources said it is 3,846. And that source said the Brahmaputra travel about 1,600 kilometers in China, 900 kilometers in India, Arunachal Pradesh and Assam, and 400 kilometers in Bangladesh. Because this 900 and 400, this 1,300 kilometer is well defined. Well defined means it can be measurable. It can be measurable without going to satellite image. It can be measurable. But if the total length is 3,846, then out of that 1,300 is constant and 1,600 shall be much bigger. This figure shall be much bigger. So it will be around 2,000 plus. So Brahmaputra is very crucial for people of Assam. More than 3 crores people we are suffering. Another, the word Brahmaputra in Sanskrit, Brahmaputra means son of Lord Brahma. So it is a male labor. More than 50% males are pharaohs as in ancient times. So perhaps that reason in the ministry of Lord Brahma had allotted all very responsible portfolios allotted to ladies only, like defense, Durga, Kali, like finance, it was allotted to Lakshmi, and if we consider education and human resources, that portfolio is given to Saraswati. If we go for agriculture, then it is Annapurna. All major portfolios are allotted to female. Means more than 80% female are peaceful, sincere in duty, honest, and never biased to anybody. And women cannot do any harm to any male. Never, we do not hurt. Perhaps present times also, if capital punishment is if essential, it is very difficult for a lady justice to give him the capital punishment, because they are soft-hearted. They are a picture of love and emotion and pity, sacrifice and mercy. They are, they are symbol of all these things, all these great verses. However, we the poor people of Assam, mostly three-quarters people of Assam, are became the target of a male river, Brahmaputra. Many tributaries, mainly in Assam, Buridihing, Disang, Dikhu, Dhansiri, Kapili, Kalong at south bank and north bank, Dihang, Subansiri, Jiabhoroli, Gabhoru, Dhansiri, Pagladia, Puthimari, Manas, Sankosh, Sampamoti are north bank. Besides, many feeder channels join together to make the Brahmaputra more volatile river. The river is flowing down with a very steep slope, and before entering India, a steep gorge has crossed. I shown in map. After crossing Besamara, the river flowing down at a gentle slope, average in 1 in 7,000, and after crossing Jugigupa, almost in flat slope of 1 in 12,660, say 1 in 13,000. In such condition, what happened? When flood, when rainwater coming, crossing a gorge and entered plains of India, what happened? In Dibang Valley, I stayed some time in connection with some soil investigation works at Dibang Valley. About 36 numbers of drill hole I was done there. So few months I was mostly stayed in Dibang Valley. Night the water make so big sound. It will as if somebody feel that something is slipping, like some vehicle is slipping down from the hilltop, like some snow snow is melting from the damaging all the trees and hills and everything. This type of sound. First day I could not sleep there. In Lohit stream also, in Lohit, the major tributary, major feeder channel in Brahmaputra at Arunachal Pradesh itself, in there no one can sleep at night. I had there for about 3 months together, but it is very difficult. So big sound I never heard, even big hydroelectric project when they are releasing water never makes such type of huge sound as if something is happening which is beyond imagination. This type of sound created during night. When all is silence, there will be no birds and other animals. In such stages, such conditions, sounds are night, the sounds are most bigger. So I cannot sleep full night. Just getting sleep, and I have to break my sleep again. So this water inundated everything, everything. There is nothing you can say that this is not inundated, this is not submerged, this is not underwater, this area is not affected. Everything was affected. I will show you this picture. You will see. These are the flood damage. These rhinos, one horn rhinos are pride of India. It is not a pride of Assam, although it is state symbol, but it is not the pride of Assam alone. It is the pride of India. All other animals everywhere available, elephant, tigers, Royal Bengal tigers, etc. are everywhere available. But one-horned rhino are only available in Assam. It is our pride. And a flood take their lives. In one flood season, they lost their lives. Because there are some highlands in the Kaziranga National Parks during high flood season. Those are taking shelter at the highland. And there are some natural highland, there are some artificial highland. The artificial highland are smaller in size, and natural highland is some amount of bigger. So they require to stay there 10-15 days because there is no grasses. Rhinos are vegetarian. They prefer grass only. So there are no grasses. And in water, question of grass does not arise. So this empty stomach leads to their death. It is very shame to people of Assam. I beg apology for all Assamese people. I am blaming all Assamese people. It is this pride of Assam, this pride of India, we cannot afford to save their life. This is our situation. These people, you see, it is a small country handboat. There is no machine, small country handboat. About 50-60 people are there. 50-60 people are there. They are going some highland to take shelter because they lost their houses. They have nothing. All the houses under flood. Flood reaches the rooftop and say they are going to search of some highland as a shelter. They are going. Highland means some roads were constructed. Roads means embankment. River embankments are constructed. Those embankments are slightly higher than average flood level or natural flood level, which is different issue. And they will be taking their shelter. Shelter means they will be staying under open sky. Whether rain is coming, sunlight is there, it doesn't matter. Night or day, rain or hot, doesn't matter. They want to save their lives. Lot of people lost their lives in flood. This is the pathetic condition of Assam. The river Brahmaputra enters Pasighat at a slope of 1 in 1600, flowing down at a steep slope of 1 in 60. Before that, before entering Pasighat, the slope was 1 in 60. And after crossing, it is 1 in 1600. So when decreases the velocity, there shall be some amount of distraction. But this is basically at Pasighat area, normally some amount of floods are there. In Siang river creating a lot of problem in Pasighat. But total distraction is not possible there because of rocky bank. In Assam, no rocky bank is there. And thereafter passing almost the smooth gradient of 1 in 700. After crossing, he entered smooth gradient. Gradually it is at Guwahati it is 1 in 5,000. It is at Guwahati it will be 1 in 9,000. Slope will be gradually, gradient will be gradually increasing. So slope will be gradually decreasing. As such, huge water accumulation creates flood in the plains of Brahmaputra only because of coming from 60, then 1600, then 700. The water is coming from upper this and it cannot pass the entire water through the river. So rest water, the coming is constant and passing is lower rate. What happened? Tank full condition. If you are putting a bucket, water is coming out and sometime the bucket will be full. If you do not stop, there will be spillover of water. So here it is same condition. It is coming from 60 slope of 1 in 60 and after coming some reaches it entered slope of 1 in 1600 then 1 in 700. This huge difference of slope created water accumulation at the entering plains of Assam. On the other hand, if we go for alternate consideration also, the Brahmaputra river carries huge amount of sediment load, suspended and sediment loads. About 40% of upstream of Pasighat, those are coming from China. Out of this 40% coming, total sediments about 40% upstream of Pasighat. That means the 40% is suspended load. It is not sediment load, it is suspended load. These sediments gradually deposited at the river bank decrease of water carrying capacity of river Brahmaputra. These are the flood scene. Flood scenario. These are the flood scenario. You see all the houses underwater. These are villages. These are houses under water. This is this is roof. As I told you, here are also some houses. They are underwater. These are all underwater. No one can live here. I do sincerely feel that these pictures shall surely bring little tears in your eyes. Tears is very hard to hear. Say, I am saying this will bring you a lot of pains in the form of liquid in your eyes. No one can even realize the pains and sufferings of these flood-affected people. About 50% of total population, they know what is flood. 80% population, they know very sincerely, and 50% population, they suffered drastically. One cannot understand in a small country boat. The sufferers has had to spend 10-15 days almost empty stomach. I had since my birth to 1955. I met many floods. I saw many floods. I am worst affected person of flood of Assam. Can you believe if I say in flood, whether you are taking shelter in some high road or some embankment or anywhere, somebody takes shelter on a tree top, they put some bamboo, make some bed-like structures, and they stayed there, they took shelter there in tree top. What they eat? How they can prepare their food? In water, nothing is possible to prepare. There is no place to cook your meal, cook your rice and anything. Nothing. You have to survive without food. Without food. That means with no food. What we did, kindly believe my speech. What we did in those days before 1955, when we are living in small country boat, we are preparing saline water. During that time, saline was not readily available. You have to go for hospital only. Hospital is far away from us. It is far away. It is one British hospital, British missionary hospital. It is far away from us. It is not possible to go on foot during that flood season. We prepare saline water. We are mixing salt and gur in water. Gur is a Assamese word. Gur is sweet cake made of sugar cane juice. Normally this gur nowadays it is also used to make sweetened dish. Gur is a sweetener. Then those days, during sugar is normally not used by all people. Some, those who are coming out from outside, they are using sugar. And all local people, they used gur for tea or some sweet dish. We are always gur only. Gur and salt mixed together in water. We are making saline water. And morning 1 glass, just early morning 1 glass, in noon 1 glass, afternoon 1 glass, at bedtime 1 more glass. We are required to spend 10-15 days taking only that self-made saline water. You see how hardship, what is the potential of this hardship? What is, can you imagine, who are taking their birth, late 60s, they will be saying that it is man-made, just imagination. It is man-made, it is imagination. Like some ghost or some other thing. See, it is imaginary story. It is not imaginary, it is real. It is real. Still nowadays, everywhere relief does not reach. I am not going to blame anyone. It is not at all possible to reach some relief or some shelter. No one can, even UN cannot afford that type of thing during full flood in Assam, full speed of all rivers. Air connectivity only few places. In some time it was also all air cell required to cancel. When flood water enters some airport, all air cancel. So it is not possible at all. Anyway, we had survived up to 82 years. I am surviving, facing all these difficulties, all these problems, shouldering all these sorrows and sufferings. Still 3 crores people are there. Out of 3 crores, you can say 20% less. 20% less means those who are living in metros, cities and towns. But directly or indirectly, those are living in metros and cities also, they are coming from the same remote villages. They are also coming from same remote villages. Their sufferings are not no less than my sufferings. So, directly, indirectly, they are also suffered. When everything is disconnected, say, I am living here. One of my younger brother is living at my native place. I cannot call on him during floods. I cannot go to him during floods. There will be no telephonic connection during floods, nothing short of anything. We cannot see, we cannot talk, we cannot do anything for him. Floods and bank erosion is the best kapul of the world. Especially for Assam, it is the best kapul. two sides of a coin, as if two body, one soul. But unfortunately, their produces are pain and tears, sorrows and sufferings only. So nice couple and their product totally, totally sufferings, sorrows, pain, tears. What happened? Why they became so best couple? During floods, whirlpool and deflected flow hit the river banks and bank erosion started. And again, the eroded materials are carried by the river and later on deposited at the riverbed, creating semi-permanent sandbars which reduces the water drainage capacity. What reduces the water passing out capacity? I'll be showing you some pictures in some later pages. These are the erosion, bank erosion. You see, these are the bank erosion. These are bank erosion. I shall be discussing later on. In a word, it is very difficult to make specific comments whether flood is responsible or bank erosion. Which is responsible? In my opinion, both are severely and equally responsible. If you ask me to choose one, I shall definitely choose geomorphology. Geomorphology is responsible. Geomorphology means such as slopes, tectonic effects, Assam earthquake 1897 and 1950, unconsolidated young alluvial bank materials. Further sediment loads are increasing day by day. So these are the basic responsibility. They are basically responsible. These which are as a whole geomorphology. In 1970, as recorded by NF Railway, for construction of bridges over river Brahmaputra, earlier the concept of any bridges, if necessary to construct, that shall be constructed by NF Railway only. Whether it is road cum rail bridge or road bridge, it will be constructed by NF Railway only. Like Kolia Bhumura, simply it is road bridge. But the construction agency was NF Railway. Nowadays it is directly handed over to Ministry of Transport Affairs. So, in 1970, the annual sediment was recorded 400 million tons. 400 million tons, while the present annual sediment is rising up to 100 million tons, with an average daily sediment load is 2 million tons. Out of this 400 million tons, only 100 million out of this 1000 million tons of sediment load, only 100 million tons carried in Bay of Bengal and rest 900 million ton is deposited at the riverbed only. This resulted innumerable sandbars, formation of countless minders, deflected flow, water flow resulted by this meanders creating bank erosion. The braiding up, when there will be deposition of sand or silt, whatever it may be, these are all the sediment flows, these are normally silt and very fine grained sand, which can carry. Those who are coarse material, this will be deposited at the upper reach. In Arunachal itself, that shall be deposited. Rest are carried to Assam, and finally some suspended particles, which about 100 ton, that will be handed over to Bay of Bengal through Meghna and Ganga, Brahmaputra, Meghna, Ganga together. In that portion it is known as Meghna. That will be handed over to Bay of Bengal. Finally, that will be creating another problem. That shall also creating another problem. The seabed bed will be, overall bed level will be increasing. Then our seawater level also be increased gradually. Today, it is in millimeter increase of water level. A day will come when it will be meter. Then what happen? All low-lying area near the Bay of Bengal or Indian Ocean or somewhere else, they will be affected. Ocean source will be affected. So, ultimately, it will be a great loss for us. The braiding up of river bed and decreasing draining capacity create floods in all tributaries of both banks, mainly due to decreasing water receiving capacity of Brahmaputra. When this water cannot pass out by Brahmaputra, and tributaries, they are carrying a lot of waters, lot of sediment and everything. They are carrying suspended load, sediment load, water, everything. And Brahmaputra cannot pass out because of inadequate waterways. Earlier, river depth was 10 meter. Now it became, say it is 2 meter less. So what happened? They refused to receive any further water from the tributaries, which resulted floods in their respective basins, respective banks. These are the happenings. We are in such critical state. We have no future, and we cannot think for future. These are bank erosion. These are bank erosion, you see. The people they are standing here, they are not coming to enjoy the landslide. They are coming, whether they are safe or not, their houses are safe or not, or how much time required to wash away their own houses. They are observing. They are coming with panic. They know what is to know their future. And huge amount of bank sediments, bank was eroded. Very, very rich, quite a big reach was eroded. You see, from here to there. You see, here to there. Here means another here. So, you see, the attack of water flow. Here you see, water is coming and hitting here. some type of protection was provided earlier that was washed away. That is totally failed. So you see, these are sliding. What happened during the concentrated flow? Concentrated flow means normal flow is there, plus some amount of deflected flow. Deflected flow means a lot of sunbursts are there. From that, this coming back after affecting the sunbursts at the middle of the river, they are deflected back. And deflected back, here they are deflected, and main water velocity, they combine it with both. So here it is, if you look it very sincerely, very honestly, keeping view on the picture only, you will imagine that the water is very high rate water is going than this rest. So this deflected flow creating massive bank erosion. Again that eroded material deposited at the river bank. Again their destruction will be more. Another major reason is excessive rainfall intensity in our region. Major cause of flood in Assam, since Assam is surrounded by hills. You perhaps all know Cherrapunji is the highest rainfall place of world. So 24 hours into 365 days, continuous raining in the form of snow type rain or in the form of liquid or in the form of ice type rain. Always Cherrapunji is receiving rainfall, the highest rainfall of the world. From Cherrapunji itself, there are three, four rivers coming out, small feeder channel coming out from Meghalaya, and they finally join in Digaru. From there, it is joining with Kopili. Peculiar type of flood. The origin of our all tributaries are in hill, like Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Khasi Hills, Bhutan, etc. During rainy season, rainwater coming down like a massive water block at slope of not one in one slope, it is vertically passing like a big trailer is coming, big giant trailer is coming on the road. I personally saw this type of giant water block rolling down at Dhansiri project at Bhairav Kunda. Bhairav Kunda means it's located at Bhutan, Arunachal, Assam junction point. It is called Kund. Kund means deep water body, because the 3-4 small channels are come together, and from there it became mighty Dhansiri. So this depth of very high. So it is called Kund. Kund. Just like Brahma Kund, Parasuram Kund, this is Bhairav Kund. The rainwater also carried good amount of this is my personal own experience. I was at Bhairav Kunda. Suddenly More than 3 meter height of water block is rolling down. And this water body is coming so tremendous forces, nobody can stand there, nobody can watch there. Only from IB we can see it, we can see the devastation. We cannot do anything, we are handicapped. We are just looking it only. This also cut soils looks like early water looks like brownish reddish color. This rain-cut soil contributes to sediment loads of river Brahmaputra. And these are, you see, these are minders. All these are minders. All these are minders. These are minders. And these are sandbars. You see, this is sandbar. River is here. It is sandbar. This is sandbar. This is sandbar. River is somewhere here. River is somewhere here. It is sandbar. These are sandbar. This is sandbar. This is the river. It is Brahmaputra. This is sandbar. This is sandbar. This is sandbar. This is river. You see? These are all sandbars. So, our waterways of Brahmaputra is decreasing. Earlier, if it is width maybe less, but depth was there much more. Now it is depth is decreasing. Water depth is decreasing day by day. That means our bed is rising up. Since bed is rising up, our water passing out capacity is also decreasing mainly because of these sunbursts, all these sunbursts. This minder produces concentrated flow, like a normal flow plus deflected flow, which undermine the banks. If we see this bank cutting, this you see, this it is some in sandbar, hitting sandbar, some water is deflected, velocity is coming here, and normal velocity is coming this side. Both are joined together, so undermine the toe of the bank. Yeah, undermine the toe of the bank. Once it can undermine, the soil became transformed to sediment load, and upper hill it is not artificial structure, so it is normal soil, so it will be collapsed. It is eroded. This is the erosion theory. And this bank resulted erosion, sunburst reduces draining out capacity, and the catchment runoff resulting flooding. Draining out area of the catchment runoff, resulting flooding of entire valley, damaging crops and property. What is the basic reason of the floods and bank erosion? As I told earlier, if we control flood, we can able to control bank erosion too. If we control the bank erosion, we can control the flood. Both are related. Basic reason is water is coming at a very high velocity upwards before entering Assam. In the absence of adequate water bodies like lake or low-lying areas, river water overtop the bank, inundating vast area. Excessive rainfall of this region also a major cause of sudden floods. Under flood season, Brahmaputra unable to receive the entire discharge of tributaries, which in turn creating havoc throughout the valley. Formation of semi-permanent sandbar, shore or sapori. Shore and sapori, these are Assamese word. Shore means it is small island of sand. Sapori means where some green grasses are coming up. These are sandbars. Deposition of sand carried by river and deposited in bed. These are sandbars. In Assam is shore and sapori. In Assam there is a difference. Shore means temporary deposition of fine sand and silt. Sapori means it is some amount of vegetation upgrowing there. Reduces water draining out capacity. Another problem is water require regime waterway for smooth passing out of the discharge. Whether there is some lessons theory, square root of discharge into 4.8 or 8.4, like that. So many equations are there. And excessive that waterway we are not able to provide. It is in physically there are 25-meter waterways, but what is the depth? How much volume we need? Excessive sediment load is one of the major role in flood and erosion. If we can control this sediment, there will be no flood. Bank erosion and rain cut also act as a catalyst in boosting up the sediment load and formation of sandbars. These are already I said. If we control the bank erosion, we can able to control these floods, or we can control the flood, we can definitely able to control the bank erosion. Some experts suggested dredging of Brahmaputra river, that is dredging of river bed of Brahmaputra river, may minimize the intensity of flood and erosion. I personally earlier in last 30 years or back, after 71, anyway it is after 71, after coming down our capital from Shillong to Guwahati, somewhere I saw it, in Guwahati river, I saw one big instrument, boat-like instrument was lying there. Later on I heard that it is taken for dredging of Brahmaputra long back. Now also it is in air. This will be river will be dredged throughout. All the tributaries will be dredged. Planning is going on. In my opinion, dredging may be helpful for limited time only. Every moment from May to October, river carries sediment load of 2 million tons daily. This dredging may be a daily routine works for which our country cannot afford. China is very rich. They were able to control their Yellow River. The Brahmaputra, Assam rivers are also Yellow River. During flood, it is almost yellowish to brownish to reddish color. You mix red, yellow, and brown. Our, our watercolors are mixed up because mixing of all northeastern hills and Bhutan. So our watercolor cannot be a complete yellow, but it is also yellow, brownish, reddish. The China can control, they have almost rigid boundaries. We do not have rigid boundary. Taking a load, alternatively, if we go for some foreign assistance, it is not good since per capita income of our 80% of Indian is very poor. In a word, all of us did some great mistakes in past. Great mistakes in past. Now we are suffering. जैसे करना ऐसे भरना. As a whole, I am saying, our scientists are crying for global climate changing, global warming. Why? We people did great mistakes in past, and so we are suffering. Scientists are always reminding, go for green, go for green, go for green. Sometimes I feel hesitation, always hearing, always some advertised, always some amount of booklets and these things. Because all are dead men, all are, especially in other states, we do not know. In Assam, we are all dead men. We are all dead bodies lying here. We have no, we cannot hear, we cannot speak, we cannot walk. Our hands, not for work. Our mouth, only to criticize others. Our hands, only to give some claps. Our brain, only to think unnecessary, imaginary news, some popular peoples. This is our duty. So just scientists crying, they are crying. They are crying. They will be dying by crying and crying. Nobody will hear. We have getting all the demerits of Duryodhan. Duryodhan was a hero. He is big hero, but he never listened any superior's advice. We people of Assam, we all became like Duryodhana. We do not want to hear anybody's word. So we have to compromise with floods and erosion. I was in Bangladesh border from 1978 to 1982. 4 years I was at Bangladesh border. Entire Bangladesh-India border. During that time I see Chittagong is Chittagong is a town, Chittagong town, very densely populated, thickly built up area, is normally minimum 6 months remain underwater. In small contribute, they were comfortably living there. Their kitchen, their toilets, their bathtub, everything in a small contribute. And they are making all arrangement there. All arrangement. They can make their food there. They have some arrangement. They are ready. Always ready. In the coming days, our low-lying area may be converted to Chittagong even. In that day, what happened? What we'll do? I said about this bridge. This bridge, you see, to Spanish is a big bridge. It is either in Kolong or Kopili. This bridge is 2 pier was there. What to do or what shall we do? To avoid the floods and bank erosion, one should be controlled. First, one shall be controlled, either bank or flood. The only one thing is rigid boundary of river is essential to mitigate the floods. Artificial rock bank is only solution which never be possible to cover all the tributaries and both bank of river Brahmaputra. Yes, rock is totally inerodable material. If we give for permanent rock type structures, either some boulder matrix with cement mortar or boulder masonry works with reinforcement or some lean concrete works, whatever it may be, if we go for that type of rocky bank, there shall be no flood at all. Because when there will be no scope to erode the bank, the flow shall automatically make its path, removing all the sandbars and everything. It will create its own route. Liquid has same pressure everywhere, so it will passing through. Under such situation, we should try to compromise with flood and erosion. My grandfather once had told me that he had seen flood after 1952, which may be due to some geomorphological changes caused by Assam earthquake 1950. It is his assumption. And you see, maybe, I do agree with him, maybe. But we cannot change it. If there are some geomorphological changes there already had in 1950, no one can change it. It is, no one can go beyond the nature. Another important thing I want to present before you all, my beloved friend, it is kindly advise me on this matter. A few years back, a scientist of Assam Water Resources, had suggested for cement grouting of river bank, and he showed his analysis and findings and his results, everything. He did it in his model type, in some experiment and some laboratory works, and in computer analysis. So he conducted it. He saw him everything, and technically his findings are very well high rated. But practical application is not yet known. In developing country, investment is research is prime capital. Even for developed country also, they are always in making investment on top priority basis for R&D sector, research and development sector. I feel if it is not yet to apply in practical uses, it is necessary for actual application to study the viability and efficiency of his findings. If it works, we can think of rigid boundary in phase manners. If not, if some demerits are found, we can go for addition and alteration, and one next gentleman can carry over some more research according to this. It is essential. In my opinion, at least 1 kilometer badly affected 1 kilometer reach, this practical application can apply. We can go for addition, alteration, development, further development. Next, some gentleman will be coming, he will be find out other solution. So, it is necessary to invest for at least 1 kilometer. In few years back, I was associated with erosion protection works at Kharghuli. This project was some pile installation and making some boulder pitching works. To divert the flow. But after installation of piles, the area is completely erosion free. Because of installation the piles, flow has been diverted. The area became completely erosion free. So, if we can provide a row of pile, provided at the river bank, the bank erosion may be controlled to a high extent. One gentleman long back, say about 10-15 years back, since I am coming from, he knows that I am coming from riverine village, so asked me, the concrete life is, you always say the concrete life is 50 years, but these parcopines are now from the original wooden parcopine converted to concrete parcopine. These are also 1 year, 2 years left. Parcopines are normally provided at shallow depth, in between scour zone only, within the scour zone only, which are washed away by flood. So, if the concrete parcopines are provided after due consideration of hydraulic analysis, minimum 1.33 times below the anticipated maximum scour depth, this shall surely be effective. There is no question of washing out. If it is properly designed and provided up to required depth, no one can pull down. The basic theory was developed. This theory of this type of barrier was perhaps first developed during Ramayana age by Maharshi Valmiki. The river velocity needs to be increased, providing artificially narrowing the river width by upstream from Pasighat or from Nizamghat, at least minimum from midpoint of three rivers at Bairagi Sapori, this Dhubri, Diburu, Soikhwa Ghat National Animal Sanctuary. From there also, if we mix some boulder works or boulder masonry works or some other type of structure to narrowing the width so that the velocity can be increased. If we narrow the width from both banks, after studying the flow pattern, we can provide some obstruction there to reduce the waterway so that this water make some bed covers and finally all the temporary sandbars, sapori or soil shall be removed and finally it will be increasing draining out capacity. It is essential to minimize the sediment load by minimize the bank erosion, hill cuttings, deforestation, etc. For this purpose, in my earlier one video, I said that if we go for a plantation program, the plant shall absorb 25% of what soil moisture, that is, soil receive rain water. Out of that 25% shall be taken by plants. If 25% shall be rest 25% shall be evaporated by heat or sun ray or sunlight, what we call, and rest if properly drain out, then there will be no problem at all. Our scientists are always crying, go for green, go for green, go for green. Otherwise, this climate changing, global warming, even this year also I feel the summer will be little tough for Assam. This summer season will be little tough for Assam. In May itself, it is in April itself, it is almost 37, 38 like that. So, what scientists are saying, these are happening. So, if we go for massive plantation, then it will save everything. If we go for plantation, then what happens? Soil erosion shall be less. Because soil moisture, 25% of soil moisture absorbed by the trees. So amount of water is decreased. It will help for landslide. It will help against this rain cut, resist landslide. Roots shall behave like a reinforced. Plants' roots shall behave like reinforced soil. So it will not easily damaged by the rainwater. So it will give immense favorable impact on our art, which I cannot describe freely. It is a lot of hours and hours together it will be required. So we should go for massive plantation. Then we can reduce the sediment loads, so which shall affect bank erosion also, which shall reduce the flood also. Everything will be happening. As a long-term plan, plantation of fast-growing trees at entire catchment area of all tributaries with both banks of all rivers. Plantation may surely minimize rain cut by rainwater runoff. I had already explained. More especially, plantation at river bank may also resist against bank erosion. Yes, in bank also we should go for plantation. In bank also, river bank also we should go for plantation. We can go for a lot of plants. Lot of plants. We not necessarily we shall go for bamboo, we shall go for mango. Not necessarily any plant. It should be, there shall be roots. We concern about the root. More the roots, more the value. In addition to at gentle meanders, this convex curve, plantation of water-growing plants like amalata, tora, bhat, etc. shall be purposeful to minimize the meandering at a river bank. What happened in that convex curve? If we go for water-growing plants, if we planting water-growing plants like amalata is a plant in water, it will be growing up, and it has a specific nature that today's 1 inch water level is increasing. This amalata also 1 inch be above the water level. Amalata, the tree top is above 1 inch water level. The tora is also same nature. In dry season, appears to be dead plants, and when rain start, they are growing, and it will spreading itself. You spread, say about 10 square meter area. Within 1-2 years, it will be 100 square meter, 200 any amount of land. How far it extend, it will be going there. So these are useful. This bhat is one type of plant which is only can grow at water only, but soil should be there. And bhat is that type of soil, not like it is a lotus family. Bhat is also a lotus family, but is lotus. Lotus requires sticky, soft clay. So if sticky clay is there, there will be no scour also, there will be no bank erosion also. So bhat is any type of soil, it grow, only water is required. It will minimize the meandering effect. At sharp meanders, pile-like structure may be provided in a row to divert the flow pattern, which shall in turn reduce the bank erosion. At riverbank slope, plantation of fast-growing tree may also be helpful to resist soil slip under loose and saturated conditions. Normally, when the soil is sediment loaded at some lower velocity, it is started to settle down at the river bed and bank as it is suitable. In such cases, immediately the soil shall be not hard enough. It shall be in almost liquid state, and soils are gradually slipping down, slipping to mid river midstream, mid flow, slipping down there. So in winter there will be no flow. From upstream, water is coming is very gentle. There will be almost no flow, no velocity. In such condition, it will be slipping down. In such cases, if we go for fast-growing tea, then it will help to resist the soil slip under loose saturated conditions. Another, boat house. Boat house, we heard about the boat house in Bangladesh. Boat house is not luxury. In Bangladesh, boat house is necessity. In Kashmir, boat house is luxury, and people when going Kashmir, they will be staying 1 2 night at boat house. That is a luxury tip. But in Bangladesh, it is essential. They must have to live in boat house. And in foreign country also, boat house, some water bodies, some lake, they made artificially some, and in river also they've had boat house. And it is very luxury. If someone going there, if someone is going there, they will be staying at boat house. It is a very luxurious tip. So under boat house, under public-private partnership near river bank may have double-fold benefits: increase of river velocity and tourist attraction. I have sincerely submitted my opinion before you all, and I am sincerely looking forward to hear from you all. I shall be grateful if you all to build up a pressure to tackle the situation so as to witness some smiles in our people's face. I am almost at the last stage of my end. If something happening good for our countrymen, I shall be ever grateful to all of you. Please be happy, please be healthy, please be blissful, please be long contented, and I pray God for all well in life. I am always available at jcgogoi@gmail.com. Thanking you all. Please have a very sweet and pleasant day. I am giving a note here. About 50% is my own experience and rest are based on study. Neither I have any intention to blame or criticize anyone on any matter. I am trying my best to bring the matter to your attention to solve the crisis of our more than 3 crores of people. Please have a sweet day.